Very good morning. Welcome to my class. Today we are going to discuss about the test for random numbers. So this is under module number 3. This is a random number generation, and we already know that the test for uniformity and independence, these are the desirable properties of the random numbers. So when we're talking about the uniformity, so in that we are going to apply the hypothesis testing on input data distribution, and in that we can't identify any of the non-uniformity. So in that case, non-uniformity is not going to get detected. So when we're talking about the independence test for independence, so in that we are the same thing, we are going to apply the hypothesis testing for the input data distribution, and in that we can't detect any kind of non-independence. So now we will go for the further tests like frequency and anti-correlation tests now. So we have two categories. One is uniformity and another one is independence. So failure to reject the null hypothesis, it doesn't mean that evidence of a non-uniformity has not been detected. We already discussed this. The same thing for the independence. So failure to reject the null hypothesis, H naught, it means the evidence of dependence has not been detected. So when we are going to use these tests, in the sense, if a well-known simulation language or random number generator is used, it is probably unnecessary to test. If the generator is not explicitly known or documented, that time we are going to use these kind of test. So this is how we are going to use the level of significance, whether we can accept or whether we can reject based on the statistical phenomena. Now we can see the example called spreadsheet programs and symbolic numerical calculators, and in this test should be applied to many sample numbers. So like frequency test, when we talk about the frequency test, we can use the Kolmogorov-Smirnov or chi-square test to compare the distribution of set of numbers generated to perform the uniform distribution. So when we talk about the autocorrelation, so it tests the correlation between the numbers and it compares the sample correlation to the expected correlation 0. So the null hypothesis, it doesn't mean that it reads the numbers which are distributed uniformly on the interval 0,1. Failure to reject the null hypothesis, it means that the evidence of non-uniformity has not been detected by this test. So this does not imply that further being of the generator for uniformity is necessary. Like when we see the H naught, this is independently 1 and H1, so I or I, it's not equals to independent 1. So we do have so many tests like theoretical test and empirical test. So one by one we will see. For all the tests, we do have a parameters M, A, C. These are the selected parameters without actually generating any random numbers. So this null hypothesis, it reads the numbers which are independent, and failure to reject the null hypothesis means that evidence of dependence has not been detected by this test. So this does not imply the further testing of the generator for independence which is necessary. So now we will see the theoretical test. So theoretical test, in this we are not going to use any kind of numbers except these kind of parameters. We are going to evaluate the choices of the selected parameters. And empirical test, so this is the actual sequence of numbers which is going to produce. So this is the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. So it just compares the continuous cumulative distributed function of the uniform distribution with the empirical CDF. So we do have sample observations. F of x equals to x0 to 1. If the sample from Rng is R1, R2 and Rn, then the empirical CDF is number of R1 where Ri is less than or equals to x by n. So based on the statistic, we are going to amplify the things. So we do have a sample observation. So in this test, frequently there are observations will be there, and sample distribution of first thing what we have to do in this, we just going to arrange the numbers in an ascending order. So now afterwards we are going to find out the maximum value of D. So then afterwards we are going to give a critical value. So this is the steps we can find out. The first thing is we are going to rank the data from smallest to largest and continue, and we are going to compute the maximum value to find out the D value, and maximum D value we are going to take it off for the significance level alpha, and afterwards the final step is whether we are going to accept or whether we are going to reject. There is a condition, that is if D less than or equals to D alpha. So this is the main phenomena of using the steps. And now this is the example which we have discussed previously. The same steps we are following in this. The first step here, we are going to rank the data from smallest to largest. So in this we have find out the small array. We are going to we have find out the small one to large one. Then the second step is compute the maximum of d value. So here we found a 0.26 as a maximum value, and also in here 0.21. And then the third step is we are going to compute the maximum of d plus or d minus. So we have find out 0.26. So this is the maximum of d value. Next is the significance level. So what is that? Alpha 0.05. Then what we are going to do, the final ultimate step, we are going to accept or reject based on the condition d less than or equal to d alpha. So what is the d value over here? 0.26. So d alpha is like 0.565. So if it is greater than d, then this is the value, and then whether we can accept or reject based on the condition, we can follow that. Now we can see the chi-square test. So this is the test which we are going to compare the existing distributions. So here we do have a formula: x naught square is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n OI minus EI the whole square divided by EI. So here approximately the chi-square distribution with n minus 1 degree of freedom, and here we can use a total number of observations in E, that is the expected number in each class. Okay, this is valid only for the large samples. So n greater than or equal to 50, then it is this chi-square test is suitable. So we have to check whether it is the large value or a small value, that we have to check. So if it is greater than or equals to 50, then this is valid for the large samples. So this is how chi-square test will work it off. So why we are going to compare with this with the existing system, not with the future? Because we can easily get a result outcome of a simulation. So normally simulation is very difficult to interpret. So when we are using this concept, then we can easily find out the solution as it is. So now once again we'll see this formula: x naught square is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n OI minus EI the whole square divided by EI. So this is the example for the table look ahead. So there is an interval of 1 to 10, and there is an upper limit 0.1 to 1, and for all the parameters they have given the values, and when we apply into that formula, so we can see whether we can accept or reject, we can find out. So this is the formula based. Yes, thank you.